All right, let's connect it up here, guys. We're coming at you June 12th, 2022, coming at you with a live stream. We're going to talk about the Walking Dead universe, of course. We're going to talk about any other shows that you would like to talk about. I had to put out that spoiler warning in the title because we're going to talk about a bunch of different shows, and if you haven't watched the shows yet, then you may be not liking some of this information because you were spoiled, or the information was spoiled. So we're talking about the Walking Dead universe, The Boys, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Better Call Saul, Stranger Things, Miss Marvel a little bit, and I'm excited for next week. It's June 19th. Animal Kingdom, the final season of that, starts next Sunday on TNT. If you haven't watched that show, I highly recommend it. But yeah, guys, so we're back to talk about a variety of topics. And we have to talk about a variety of topics because The Walking Dead is on break. Fear the Walking Dead is between seasons. It's June, so nothing's going to be on television for Walking Dead until Comic-Con next month. So next month, July, Comic-Con, hopefully get some trailers, some news, some information, some filming stuff about the Maggie and Negan show. So before we get into it, we'll wait for YouTube to catch up and the chat to get going on there as well. Top chats are always encouraged. Super chats are always welcome, but we'll talk about a bunch of different things, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you guys about whatever topics you want to have there too. So I'm not seeing any of the chat just yet. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I've seen people coming and going, but I'm not seeing anybody in the chat. So hopefully we'll catch up with that. But either way, hopefully you're safe and sound, guys. I know it's a crazy year, just like the past couple years have been. It's June, so we're approaching the middle of the year. Hopefully you're going to be safe and sound, and I'll wait for everybody to come and join, get to talking a little bit here. Rob K, yo, what's up, my guy? Ethan, Q&A, will we see more immune people in Padre in Season 8? So Ethan jumping right out the gun with a Fear the Walking Dead question. I don't think we're going to see immune people. Ethan, you said, will we see more immune people? So are you saying that Alicia is immune? Because there's no person that we've seen have any immunity in the virus on The Walking Dead. Everyone's infected, but we haven't really seen a clear-cut immunity. Now, it's debated if we're never going to find out, most likely, per the showrunners, that they're not going to explain anything. Just like when we saw Madison, when she came back, it was, so much time has passed since Season 4 when she was at the stadium and she was just saved by these Padre people. We don't know how she was saved, when she was saved, what happened, where she went, any of that stuff. They're not going to answer it because they can't really. It doesn't make sense. So they're just going to skip over that and be like, here's Padre, guys. We're going to reinvent stuff. And do we need more reinvention in the Walking Dead universe? I don't think so. We need more of what works. Let's go back to Season 4, Season 5, Season 6. We need that in my wheelhouse is what I think is what Fear the Walking Dead needs. It needs to be exciting. I think, Madison or Morgan, more importantly, Morgan needs to wake up and it needs to be a dream about these people in Texas. And it just needs a refresh that way, a reinvention that way. But we'll see what it entails for Padre in Season 8. And, I think filming is underway in Savannah, Georgia, too. Saeed, have you saw Succession? I've never seen Succession. I believe it's interesting. Is that on HBO or Showtime? I have never seen it, but I think it's something I have to check out a lot of good shows. I need to watch Ozark. I need to watch Succession. My wife and I are watching The Boys, Obi-Wan, Better Call Saul, Stranger Things, Ms. Marvel, Animal Kingdom. We're excited. That comes back next Sunday. Last of Us for next year. And I'm kind of excited for Tales of the Walking Dead. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And, of course, The Walking Dead. I'm excited to see where that goes, too. John Graham says, Q&A, what up, bro? I've always been curious as to why the walkers in Season 2, when the barn was on fire, they walked away, but in Season 6, when Daryl had the rocket launcher, they were drawn to it. Thoughts? Great point, John. And that just goes to continuity error. They should have went to the fire. Season 2, they were between showrunners after Frank Darabont left in the middle of the season. The Walker stuff is all over the place. Like, you have to have a finite set ground rules of things. And when it doesn't make sense, I just think it's a mistake, John. I think it's a mess up with the fire because, like you said, in season 6, they were drawn to the fire. And that kind of is the thing that they've done before. But I just think it was a misstep. John Wilder, Q&A, why are we getting a Last of Us Part 1 remake? I really just need a Part 3. I mean, seriously, what's the point? Because Last of Us is a big game. Last of Us, for those who don't know, Last of Us is a PlayStation game with Ellie and Joel, Zombie Apocalypse. I'm super excited for that show to come out next year in 2023. I'm fine with Pedro Pascal being Joel and Bella Ramsey being Ellie, but we'll see if the story makes sense. Now, I don't think we need another remake of anything. I just think they want to step up the graphics a little bit, maybe the story a little bit, maybe change a couple things. It's just easier probably to go back and buff up, jump up or redo some of the graphics and, just improve what they could from The Last of Us, even though the first one is a great game. It's just easier to do that than to come up with a whole third game, which hopefully they're working on too. Ethan, do you think Season 8 of Fear will be a big time jump in their path to Alexandria, or they'll make this Padre stuff whole season? I don't know, Ethan. I don't know if they're going to go to Alexandria. I don't know if they're ever going to do that. I think they should. I don't know if they will because Alexandria is being torn down. The timelines don't add up, but I think there will be a time jump. I think Padre's not going to make much sense. I don't have faith in these showrunners. I don't have faith in anything they do on Fear the Walking Dead. I haven't for a while. And then Season 6 happened. And then they gave me some hope and some yes, it's going to be great. And then Season 6 was the best season in my opinion. I know people love Season 3. It was a good season. But Season 6 is up there, if not the best season of it, followed by Season 7, which was terrible. Season 3, followed by Season 4. They don't know how to keep the momentum rolling. They don't know what they're doing, in my opinion. And then it's just not good. Daily Memes asks, what is your prediction of The Walking Dead ending? I don't think it's going to be like a true ending. I think it's going to be left with a lot of people still alive. We're going to lose a couple people. I think the Commonwealth will go under whoever's going to run it. Maybe Ezekiel, Yumiko, so-and-so is going to run it. Commonwealth is going to still be around. Alexandria will be rebuilt, reborn, just redone, and that's going to be what it is. Negan and Maggie are going to have to go on their way to go save Herschel and maybe Annie, or just Herschel, or maybe Negan's baby or something. It would be great if it connected with the Padre people. I don't think it will. It would be great if it connected with CRM. I don't know if it will, but I would love for that to happen, that's for sure. So, but I know it's only 8 episodes left, like Rob K says. It's bittersweet, but I'm at this point now where I'm ready for this to be done and to wrap it up, because majority of shows, they don't know how to clean up or clear out a series or finish it. You have to have a beginning, middle, and end. I don't know if season 11 is going to have a rewarding ending, if it's going to feel rushed, if it's going to feel dumb, if it's going to feel unsatisfying. I hope it is good and interesting and satisfying and sets the ways up, because what's the worst thing is stringing something along when you should have just cut the cord, man. End it. End the relationship. Don't string it out any longer than necessary. We know those bad relationships, or the relationships that our friends have been in, or family members or whatever, and you're just end it already. Save us all the trouble and just end it, right? And I don't want to have a bad relationship with the show. We've already been there, done that. So many good shows have ended poorly, and we don't need The Walking Dead to end poorly. That's for sure, though. Dana, we don't know if Padre is in Texas, because last time we saw Morgan and Madison, they were in Louisiana. So Padre doesn't have to be in Texas. Padre could be in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, somewhere else that way. It's going to be filmed in Savannah, Georgia. I just don't know where it's actually going to be taking place. So Padre, we still don't know the whereabouts of it. I don't think it's in Texas personally. Doesn't make sense, especially since they blew up Texas. So we'll have to see. It's just been all over the place too. So Ethan, another Q&A. Will we see Smith in France in the first season of Tales? Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anybody in France personally. So Tales of the Walking Dead, let's talk about that. Andre Torres, what's up? Haven't seen you, Andre? My guy, Dre. So Ethan brings up Tales of the Walking Dead. So Tales of the Walking Dead is going to be 6 episodes. I don't know if we're going to get 6 quality episodes, a couple of good episodes. We're going to get an alpha episode and then a bunch of other characters, a bunch of new characters. There's been rumors about Tyrese being in an episode or being focused on an episode. I haven't seen them because we haven't seen them, right? So, I have not. I don't know what your Red Dead Redemption 2. I've only played the first game, Red Dead Redemption 1. I have not played the second one, but. Tales of the Walking Dead, there's been some photos going around. I have a video about it talking about the photos, and I have some more information recently came out about some of the cast, who they're going to be, and it looks like they're going to be all new characters except for Alpha. And I would love, because Olivia Munn looks like a younger princess, even though she may be older than the actress Paula, but I don't know their ages or whatever, but Olivia Munn could pull off a younger princess. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be a younger princess. I think I'll make that video and talk about it coming up probably this week. So, but I think it's going to be standalone episodes. And bottle episodes are usually a never good idea, especially here. I don't know if it's going to be anything worth watching more than just a quick little thing to watch to keep the Walking Dead name, because I think the Walking Dead franchise, it's really on life support right now, right? It's not flourishing. It's not in its prime. It's at the end of its road. But they want to stretch it out, keep milking that cash cow. That is the Walking Dead. I don't know how much money it's making. I don't know what it's doing anymore, but ultimately it is giving content for AMC Plus. I don't know if people are going to keep the streaming services or what they're doing. Like right now, why would you have AMC Plus? You cancel it, bring it back in August for Tales of the Walking Dead, which premieres on August 14th, and then, or just wait until October, which I think the Walking Dead final part is going to air then. It says fall. Fall starts end of September. Makes sense. Would it be October, November, and December too? So, Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Should I give Fear another chance? The first 2 episodes made me fall asleep, and I never gave them a chance again. John, I would not personally. I think it's a waste of time to watch Fear the Walking Dead because it's not connecting in any major ways. I'm watching it because I love the Walking Dead universe. The first seasons are terrible. The first season, you get to know the characters. Second season gets better, but it jumps all over the place. And I jokingly call it, they're just farting around, place after place after place. Like, come over here, over here. Yep. Like, that's all it's doing. And it's like, what are we doing watching this show? Ultimately, you watch The Walking Dead because they were staying alive. They were surviving. They were trying to find a place to be, a community. Then they would find a place and it would get ruined. Find a place and ruined. Find a place, get ruined. Rebuild it. Ruined. Rebuild it. You know, whatever it was, time and time again. And you have to have an end game. We're not watching these people. So it's just... Yeah. Rob K says, Fear Season 7 is good to cure insomnia. It'll put you to sleep. Like, don't get me wrong. There's moments in the series that, or the season at least, or the series, I should say. The Season 7 has been pretty bad. But series-wise, it's okay. It has its moments. It's connected to The Walking Dead, and so it's all right. But it's just been too many people running the show all over the place, and they don't know what to do, whether it would be... And I hate talking about a show that's not worth talking about, right? Like, it's something that I'm not here to bash Fear the Walking Dead, but it just sucks. Like, overall, it's not good. Majority of the stuff is a waste of time. Like Season 7, the finale was the best episode. So you got 1 out of 16 episodes that were good. All this was Padre, tower, this, there, back and forth. Alicia comes back around. Great, she's got a group. Oh, I'm going to take the tower. Great, you ruined the tower. You didn't take anything. There was no war. There was no battle. It was just Strand being a fake villain. And he's like, I love you, Alicia. I love you too. Did Alicia live? Did she die? I don't know. She was sick for months. You know, it's just crazy. And they can't kill her off because of her fan base would go insane. There's no way you bring people back unless you're Madison. You kill her off and you bring her back somehow. But you never saw a body and never this and all that stuff. It's just ridiculous. That's just what it is. It's just nonsense. There's so many other good shows. Like, so my wife and I, we watched the 4 episodes that are out on The Boys. The Boys is a great show. It's on Amazon. Talks about superheroes, people not being good with power, people trying to get back at superheroes. It's not your Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's for sure. It's got its moments. There's way too much nudity at times. There's way too much stuff over at times, but it's done in a way that's entertaining. I love the show. But after a while, like I watched this latest season, and the first 4 episodes, there's nudity all over the place. We're seeing way too much of some of these actors, and we're like, like it's done in a way that doesn't hurt the story, but it just seems a little too much. But I get why they do it and whatever. But it's just an entertaining way, and it's an entertaining take on, superheroes. And I guess superheroes that are kind of villains, that are kind of this, but it's the superhero business, which is cool. I really do enjoy Obi-Wan. If you have Disney Plus, Obi-Wan is an interesting show. It connects between the first 3 movies and the middle 3 movies, and then it connects, Leia and Luke and Obi-Wan, and it's really cool. Even though I feel like Luke got the shaft after what Princess Leia has basically become. Luke's living on a desolate farmer Luke, and Princess Leia is doing all this crazy stuff. And Obi-Wan is Ethan Hawke. Ewan McGregor does a great job as Obi-Wan. It's definitely worth watching too. Better Call Saul, another great show. If you like the Breaking Bad universe, you definitely got to watch Better Call Saul. Stranger Things. I made a recent video talking about the finale or mid-season finale, and I love Stranger Things. I'm a supporter of Stranger Things, but I was like, man, this is kind of weak what they did with the villain kind of thing. It was like an easy way out for it, but it does connect, and it's probably the easy way to connect the dots for this season and then going into the final season, season 5. But it's crazy in July. I think it's July 1st. We get 2 more episodes. So it's going to be a total of 9 episodes, but episode 8, I think, is an hour and a half, and episode 9 is rumored or said to be 2.5 hours. So that's 4 hours. So it's basically 4 episodes that were pushed to be 2 episodes. So we'll have to see what goes into those 2 episodes, and I'm definitely excited to see where that goes for sure. Let me see. Ethan, Q&A. Don't you think that we already gave so many survivors and so many big groups in The Walking Dead? I mean, how can they survive so long in the apocalypse, and we're getting new big groups all the time? No, I agree, Ethan. So it's crazy to think that we're getting so many people and groups and other groups and people and survivors and this. And it's like, how many years in the zombie apocalypse? 6 years, 10 years, whatever it is for this people. And I love the idea of people surviving, but the majority of our group would be dead already. Like the lack of antibiotics, dental care, just you would get a cold and you would die from that. They're not eating the right foods, or there's the vitamin deficiencies or whatever. After a while, it's just crazy that there, but it's basically a comic book superhero story, like Rick Grimes and Michonne and Daryl and all the superheroes, and Negan's the anti-hero, but he's a hero. Is he a villain? He's this, is that. You got to suspend reality, that's for sure too. But yeah, it makes sense. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Did you hear John Cena and Negan are going to be in Supernatural together? What a combo. Supernatural? What do you mean, John? I've not heard that. I know that John Cena is doing more acting. I don't know what the future. I've never really watched Supernatural. I'm not the biggest Supernatural fan, but I've watched a couple episodes. There's just a lot to take in with that too. Rob Brishel, hey Bri, enjoyed the dividend stocks video. The market is pretty volatile year to date, but should be okay long term. Bonds are about to be hammered with interest rates in response to inflation. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. So I like investing. I used to be a saver, and I still am a saver, but I don't think you're going to be able to save your way to becoming financially independent. It's good to have money put away and all that stuff, but you're not going to make that much money in interest. You have to invest in things. And the best thing I like to invest in is dividend stocks that pay you a dividend for owning shares of their company. And I talked about, I think, 12 different shares of companies that I actually own. Like, I like Pepsi, I like Coke, I like IBM, I like NYCB, New York Community Bank, Verizon, KMI, Enbridge, Mo or Atria, and a bunch of, I own like 37 different stocks. And I might own like one share of a stock, but it's still something that's there too. And I bought some I bonds or inflation bonds that are really good because you're getting about like 9.62%. And I don't know where else you're going to get that anywhere else on the market. And that's a really good thing to do right now as well. But yeah, guys, it's tough out there. Like, I just had to get gas because I'm driving around a lot, being a home health physical therapist. And I had little less than a quarter of a tank. And I filled it up, and it cost me like $66. And I have a Toyota Camry. I don't have as big gas guzzler Suburban or SUV or anything. I don't know how people could do it, and luckily I get paid a little bit of mileage for driving around, but it's crazy. It's just one of those things where you have to be able to cut money here and there and cut time and good times and save your money there as well. But I'm wholeheartedly about investing, and I'm trying to do the long game with investments. I think it's a good time. Like recently, I think I read something this morning about, or was it yesterday, that the market's been down 10 of the past 11 weeks. And that's a good time to buy. Like, I love the idea of, usually you don't want to put money in something and risk it going away. But if you have faith in these companies, like you like Verizon or AT&T or IBM or Microsoft or Apple or Starbucks or whatever it is, they have dividends coming their way. And so you follow something long enough, you have faith in the stock, hopefully. And, I've always been a person like, I don't want to lose my money, but with no risk, no reward. And if you put money in something and it's down, but if it's already down, if a stock's at $50 for a long time and then you put money into it because it's down 8, 9, 10 points, you know where it was at one point. And hopefully a couple years from now, you keep the stock and there you go too. So, but keep money on hand, cash on hand if you can. I know it's tough though. Like, if you don't have enough money if all your money is going towards food and gas and bills, and you got a little bit left over, you don't see the point in putting money in stocks, or it's just not cost feasible for you. And I get it. But if you can, I think it's a good way to do it, especially now because the market is down. It's probably going to keep going down too, so it may be good for a little while as well. So keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on some stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff out there that you can buy stocks for free. It doesn't cost you anything to do shares, on Robinhood or TD Ameritrade, or I don't use E-Trade, but they may be stuff they have on there as well. Jonathan Wilder is my WWE guy. Did you see Hell in a Cell? Cody is absolute legend. Salute to my man. Yeah, he had a torn pec. And he still wrestled the match and beat Seth Rollins. And, yeah, he's going to be out for a while. That's a pretty big injury, especially with the demands of wrestling, with twisting, turning, pushing, pulling, flipping, wrestling. It's going to be a long time till he comes back because you want it to be done the right way. And it looked worse than it probably was. It was probably still pretty bad, but the swelling and the bruising and the bleeding around the injury, it looked pretty terrible too, so. Let me see. Jeannie says, I know a lot of people fuss about Apocalypse shows where everyone is so well groomed, but to me, isn't that odd? People were finding ways to shave, for example, for centuries. Yes and no. Like, if you're living out in the road, on the streets, in the woods, out and about, the last thing you're going to worry about is shaving or brushing your teeth or doing whatever. You're going to worry about finding food, staying safe, going to the bathroom. The zombie apocalypse would be terrible. It would smell terrible. You would be at a heightened risk all the time. You'd be worried all the time. And to be honest, I wouldn't be worried about shaving and looking right at all. That'd be the least of my priorities. It would be my protection, my safety, my there. And then if you have that in a community, like basically Rick Grimes, season 4 into season 5 with that huge beard and everything, I think more people would be looking that way. yes, women would have hairy armpits and hairy legs and hairy arms and all this other stuff too, unless they all got laser hair removal before. And maybe some women did, but they would have mustaches and all this stuff because you're not grooming. You wouldn't be looking right. You wouldn't be able to go to get your nails done and your hair done and all that stuff too. And that's fine. But I don't think people want to see that. This isn't a documentary. Like, we're not documenting survival stuff here. There's going to be some sense of non-realism, right? We're not going to be worried about what do we look like if we're just trying to stay alive. I mean, it just comes priorities of that too. There's the hierarchy of needs. Do you want to stay alive, have a sustainable, safe drinking water and food? Or do you want to use your last bit of food and water, or your last bit of water at least, to shave your face? Nah, I want to drink it and be fine there too. So, but people will complain about everything on there as well too. So, I want to bring up a point here, and I hate to turn Debbie Downer, but I had some recent news in my life and my family's life that I was in, with a patient on Thursday, and I was leaving the patient's house, and I checked my cell phone, and I got a text message from my brother, and he's my stepbrother, but I call him my brother, and he says, "I just saw your ma. She looks good, all things considering." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And my mom was in a car accident on Wednesday night. And I didn't get to talk to her until Friday because she was in surgeries, and she had a couple surgeries, and she's alive and she's okay. But she's got a long way to go recovering because she has some injuries. She hurt her knee. She had a surgery on her hip. She had a broken wrist, and she has a broken sternum because she was in a front end collision where a car came in the opposite lane, ongoing traffic, came into my mom's lane and hit her head on. And it's just crazy to think that in an instant, your life can change like that. My mom was just driving home, minding her own business, right? And so I'm like thinking to myself, this sucks. Not everything is good. Not everything is great. I'm not someone on fake positivity like, oh, life is great, blah, blah, blah. No, there's nothing great about this situation at all. Right? I'm not Gary V, where everything's positive and all this stuff. Like, it's hilarious how people see the positive things. Like, you can spin anything, right? You can't spin this in a positive light. Besides, my mom's alive. She's in the hospital. She has family and people there to watch her, and she's doing okay. But she's got a long way to go recovering, and, she's in the hospital. She was in the ICU. She's in the regular hospital room, and then she's got to go to a rehab, and, it's going to be a long time recovering. And it just makes you think about stuff and put things in perspective. And so that might be why I'm posting a little more positive stuff and motivational and inspirational stuff on YouTube and there. And, I'm like, some people are dicks, and they're like, just stick to The Walking Dead, da, 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 da. And I'm like, that's pretty crappy. People don't know what stuff's going on or whatever. And I know people come to the channel for The Walking Dead, and people come here for different reasons. But at the end of the day, I'm going to post and say and type whatever I want to do, right? And maybe that comes off terribly. But I'm trying to keep positive, stay positive, inspire, motivate, and do that. And people don't care. People are just going to run their mouth and say whatever they say. And The Walking Dead's on break, right? It's on break until later this year. So I ain't going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 because I've been there, done that, talked about it in so many videos. It's not worth talking about again. So we'll talk about the Comic-Con trailer when it comes out, hopefully in July. And then Tales of the Walking Dead is in August. And then Walking Dead will be hopefully in October. And then I don't know when Fear the Walking Dead comes back. But, if I want to talk about things I'll talk about The Boys and Obi-Wan and Better Call Saul, Stranger Things, Ms. Marvel, which I didn't think Ms. Marvel was going to be good at all. I was like, let's watch it because I get Disney Plus and we'll watch it. But it was actually a good episode. And Henry, Matt Lintz, who played Henry on The Walking Dead, is in that show. And it's always cool to see Walking Dead cast members in different shows. And Laurie Holden, who played Andrea on The Walking Dead, is in The Boys, which is, always cool to see, too. So, but, that was my Wednesday after having a crappy week, or that was my Thursday, after having a crappy week with work and it's just, the computer systems weren't working and all this stuff was crappy on there, too. And, then I get that news. Like, it was just weird, too. Like my brother texts me. And he didn't say like, oh, your mom was in an accident and she's okay and blah, blah, blah. He was just having a text like, I saw your mom and she's looking good, all things considering, were the texts. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, what's going on here? And this happened back in the Northeast. My mom, I guess, works in Pennsylvania. She lives in New Jersey, but she works in Pennsylvania, and she was coming back from work, I'm guessing. And that's just when it happened. And in a blink of an instant, it just changed her life, my life, everyone's life in an instant. So be grateful for what you have. Be excited for life and things, because stuff can, things can change for the bad, but also change for the good too. Like if you go get a scratch off lottery ticket and you win, hey, that changes for the good. But more times than not, it's usually something bad that's ever life changing too as well. So, but yeah, that was just my thing, and so that's kind of why I've been posting different things on just a basic post, just something there. Just I was like, yeah, maybe it cheers somebody up. Maybe it motivates somebody. Maybe people hate it. I don't know, but I can't understand how people could get mad about it. That's just funny. Like who goes online and just hates on something like a good quote, or something there too. It's just I don't know. It's just hilarious. But thank you for the concern and the kind words. I try to be transparent on this channel. I'm a regular human being. I'm a guy from New Jersey living in Florida, being a physical therapist here with my wife and everything too. So, because here, I'm not here to be just talking about The Walking Dead and that's it. That is the glue that binds us and holds us together. But ultimately, we're people. I got to know people through this, and I still continue to get to know people. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the world a good place. And there's terrible news, stuff on the news about this and that and different stuff in the, it's just terrible all the time. Like it seems like every day or every couple days or at least every week, there's just terrible reports on the news. And it's just one of those crazy, crazy things. John asks Q&A, are you going to do episode reviews for Tales? For sure, John. I'm excited for Tales of the Walking Dead. I want to see where it goes with these characters, with these, they got some big actors, and the Walking Dead universe has big actors. Big actors have been in every show so far. I'm excited to see where it goes. And what I think, I hope they build up the characters in these shows and they don't kill them off. Like, I feel like we're going to have some episodes where we see the story of this person. They're here, they're there, they get away, someone dies or they die, and that's the episode. Kind of like a Tales of the Crypt, where they're all just self-contained episodes, bottle episodes. But I would love for Terry Crews to live, and he somehow meets up with somebody in some spinoff. Or, we know Alpha lives because it's Alpha's story before she became Alpha, or the transition of Alpha, even though we had her prequel story, and we already had the backstory of it a little bit here and there. But I just hope it's entertaining, and I don't mind if it's going to be, we like these characters and then we see where they go, but I feel like a lot of the characters are going to be killed off. It's going to be self-contained episodes too. But we'll see. We'll see how it is. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, have you heard of a show called The Rap Game? It's a show about kids rapping. It's pretty interesting. No, I've never heard about that. That's for sure. What is that going to be on? Rob K., the actor that played the jerk in the bar in the Walking Dead Season 2 episode Nebraska, is in Crimes of the Future. I think it's him. I haven't seen that show, Rob K., but it's always cool to see different actors, like I said. Another show that I like to watch, my wife and I, is Mayans. It's the motorcycle club of the rival Sons of Anarchy, which is, Beta was in that show. He was Opie. And I love Sons of Anarchy. It was a great cast, great writing. It was just done really well. Even though, the Ireland season, which I think is season 3, I want to say, was a little too much, a little too drawn out, a little too involved there. But when they came back to Charming in California, it was interesting. And I love the story. It was great. And then the spin-off show is Mayans, which continues that world of the motorcycle clubs in California. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely something I'd recommend. If you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, I think you'll like Mayans as well. John Graham Q&A. Are you more excited about the Negan Maggie show or the Daryl in Europe show? Man, that's a good question, John. I'll ask you guys that same question. I'll give my answer. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for the Negan Maggie show or the Daryl show? You have to pick one. Don't give me both, because the answer is both. We want to watch both the shows. We're going to watch both shows. But Negan and Maggie or Daryl? What are you more excited about? I don't know. That's a tough question because I love Daryl. I love Daryl. I love Maggie, and I like Negan. Right? So Adabee says neither. Yeah, I guess neither. You can't give neither. You got to give it. You got to pick one. I think it's the Maggie-Negan show because of New York and why are they going there? How's it connected? Jeffrey Dean Morgan is building up the hype big time. I think it's going to be better done, cast, written, and make more sense than the Daryl show, because I think the Daryl Carol show was going to take it one way, and now the Daryl show is going to be like, how does Daryl get to Europe? Why is he there? I know it'll be explained because I think Daryl, or Norman, really cares about Daryl and the story of Daryl and the continuity of Daryl. And I think he's going to put his heart, body, and soul and everything into it. And like that's what he's done. The performance of Daryl has been great for the show. I know some people don't like Daryl, but I know more people love Daryl than don't. But Daryl was essential to the success of The Walking Dead as of late, too, especially since Rick went away. But early on, Daryl was very important to the show. Melissa McBride, Carol was very important to the show, and both of them are very important to the show. I just hope that the Daryl show doesn't feel like a misstep because Carol dropped out. Because if you had Carol there, the dynamic would be different. Daryl and Carol would play off each other, and the dynamic would be different because there's two characters, and the story would be different because there's two characters and where they go and what they would be. But what's the adventure that Daryl is going to be on in Europe? Will it make sense? Why or why not? But I think, for me, I think it's the Maggie and Negan show. Because I thought they were going to film in Georgia and call it New York. But from what I've read and heard and seen and really just been put out there, is that they're actually going to film in New York. At least some of it. They may film half and half New York and Georgia. So we'll have to see what they actually do. But it's only going to be 6 episodes. I think both of the shows will probably be 6 episodes. And that's fine. The problem with a lot of The Walking Dead is they stretch it out, where a lot of the stuff could easily be half as many episodes. They don't have to draw it out for 16 episodes, especially Fear the Walking Dead. They probably should have done 13 episodes. 7 mid-season and then 6, and kind of condensed it. But in the Walking Dead universe as a whole, we have way too many characters. Way too many people. And it's kind of what happens when you write stuff, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have checked out my book series, Fight for Us, and hopefully you have. If you haven't, that's okay too. But when I'm writing these characters, and I'm writing book 16 right now, well, I've written it. We are in the process of editing it. And I'm about to wrap up my first edit. My wife is about a third of the way done, and then I got to go through it again. But it's tough. You do develop affinity for certain characters, good and bad. And the next thing you know, you got like a handful of characters. And then you got 10 characters. And then you're like, man, I got this community and I got that community. And I'm like, man, there's too many people here to keep up with. But in my story, at least, it's a future story. It's a couple years in the future from even right now. That it's a different world because the characters in that story have seen the shows, read the books, read the comics. They were prepared for a zombie apocalypse more so than, other, like, we've already seen it so many times. Like the first episode is like, oh my God, zombies, how do you kill them? Ah! And then you're in the head, you got to shoot the head, kill the brain. And you're like, all right, enough. We already know all that, right? And even if you jump over, even if you go that way, do it quickly. First episode, done. Boom, passed it. We got it. The lore is explained. Gotcha. Right? So we don't need too many things going crazy with it and too involved. But my initial story is that the people are prepared for it, so they would be more prepared to survive. And especially the state of the world, there's survivalist camps, people that are ready to have a supply, a stock of food, like so much stuff going involved with it. But that's just my story. That's not here, but there's just too many people in The Walking Dead, in my opinion. John Graham, Q&A, do you think the change of scenery will benefit the show? I think it will. They have repeated many places over many years and storylines. I hope so. I think it would be great. We don't need a fresh restart, but we could have a nice jump start of something. Like, we don't need something to be rebooted. Kind of like Top Gun Maverick. That's not a reboot by any means. It's a continuation, a sequel, but it feels like it's all familiar. It's the same, but not the same. It's different, but the same but different. It's familiar to us. That's what I think we need in the Walking Dead universe. Like, I personally would be fine with finish the show, take a nice break, come back, refreshed, do that. That would have been okay if they didn't mess up on the Rick stuff. Now, that's putting a whole big wrench in stuff. Rick going away, but not being killed off, just like Alicia. I don't know. I mean, if Rick Grimes does not show up in some way, shape, or form, or at least talked about or something, we need some sort of connection with him in the final season of The Walking Dead. We don't even need to see Andrew Lincoln, right? We need to have some sort of message, some sort of radio frequency transmission, something that says Rick's out there and we haven't forgot about him in the lore of the Walking Dead story. There's been talk about Rick having a shootout scenes and all this other stuff, and now we're in June and we still haven't seen it. So I don't know. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Who's more likely to find Rick first during these spinoffs? I personally would say Maggie-Negan, because they are in the States. I think Rick Grimes has never left the United States. I think he's been in Philadelphia all this time, or at least in the Northeast now. Did he escape the CRM? Did he get out? Did he get captured? Did he get taken to another facility? Maybe they whisked him away to Europe. But it would probably be Daryl if they were writing things. That Daryl sees Rick from afar, but he can't get to Rick, so they just need like a person that looks like Andrew Lincoln. It doesn't have to be Andrew Lincoln. And he's like, he sees him, but he can't get to him, and there's walkers or debris or something in the way, and he's like, Rick! And Rick gets in a truck and drives away. And that's what we see. Or the same thing happens with Maggie-Negan. I think it would be funnier if it was Negan, because of Rick and Negan, the dynamic there. It would be, I guess, more rewarding or emotional if it was Daryl, but it still remains to be seen what these fools do with Rick Grimes. We're still waiting for Rick Grimes. Like, we've been waiting forever, since Season 9, Episode 5. We're coming up on Season 11, Episode 17 in October. It's like, what? It seems like forever, and it's been forever. And I know the pandemic and the world and the state of affairs, and it's crazy. But, come on. And they're like, we're working on the scripts. We got to find a producer. We got to find this. We're working on the scripts. We're working on it. We're really working on the scripts. Like, come on, man. Too much. You got to get off the pot, man. You can't do this. We're trying to work on something really good. Great. I'd rather have had something by now and it been mediocre than wait and still wait, and then we get something great. I'd rather have that. I don't know who's worse. The people that are writing the Rick Grimes scripts, or supposedly the scripts for the movie or movies, or the dude who writes the Game of Thrones stuff. Right? Like, who's worse? They're like not putting stuff out at all. And I don't even read Game of Thrones books, but I know those fans are pissed because they haven't gotten the story in so long. The guy made his money from the books, but also the shows and all the stuff he owns and the rights to the whatever. And then he's like, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he might not ever finish those stories. He probably doesn't have to. He's probably a multi-millionaire now. Dragon says, does Maverick take your breath away? Nah, but it puts me in the danger zone. That's for sure, bro. I know, bad joke. I know. John Graham, Q&A on a scale of 1 to 10. What is your confidence that we get the Rick Grimes movies? I don't know. I don't know if I can give it a... I don't want to give it a 1. I don't want to give it a 10. I'm still remaining optimistic. I could probably give it a solid 5. I don't know. It's probably like a 2. But just because there's no news about it. And Andrew Lincoln has filmed other stuff since The Walking Dead, so don't give me that stuff where he's like, I'm going to be home with my family, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be there. You've been in another movie, Penguin Bloom. You filmed something for Netflix. You're filming other stuff. So don't give me that crap about, oh, I want to be home with my family. No. Probably what he would never say and never admit, and I don't know any of this information, I'm just going with, he's probably pissed about the stuff that happened with The Walking Dead and the people that ran things there and did what they did with Carl and this and that and the writing and whatever they were doing with it, right? And then he's probably like, yeah, I'm not going to put any time, energy, and effort into this anymore. See ya. I've made my millions. Peace. Because if they wanted to do it, it would get done. It's just like if that person, if a person wants to call you or get in contact with you, they will. They will text you. They will call you. They will text you back. They will call you back. They will email you. They will message you. They will have correspondence with you. Or they won't. I got friends that way. I have friends that I have to be the person who texts them or call them or whatever. Maybe they get back to me, maybe they don't. But I just understand that's the way it goes. And then they, I text them and he'll text me back right away, or it takes him 2 weeks to text me back, or he doesn't. It goes, it goes hand in hand. But I don't know. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. Maybe the lawsuits and the money and the budget and the this and the spinoffs, and clearly they have money for stuff because they renewed Fear the Walking Dead for season 8. They have 24 episodes of The Walking Dead. Tales of the Walking Dead, the Maggie-Negan show, the Daryl show. They have shows that they're going to do, and they have. So they have money for it. And as great as the Daryl show could be and the Maggie-Negan show could be, I'd rather have Rick. I'd rather have a Rick story that connects these things. We don't need a Maggie-Negan show and a Daryl show if we have a Rick movie that connects those things with it. The Rick movie can have Maggie-Negan and Daryl in it. We don't have to have just Rick in the show, in the movie. And I hope that's not all we get. I hope we get some of these people. And I really hope we have more people from The Walking Dead going on Fear the Walking Dead. It would really help that show out. And that needs all the help we can get. Yeah, George R.R. Martin. I couldn't remember his name. Dragon says, a friend says George R.R. Martin needs to stop eating cheeseburgers and start writing. Well, you can do both. Like, right. Right. Just, you can do it. Like, you can just get it going, man. Get it going. It's like crazy. When you're young or you're motivated and you need there and you're hungry and you don't have success, you're staying up late. You're working hard. You got 2 or 3 jobs. You're saving money. You're working this. You're doing things. And then you get success and you get good stuff going on, and you got money, and you got stuff, and you made it. Then you're like, nah, I don't need to do what I was doing that got me here anymore. I'm here. I made it to the mountaintop. And you're like, what? No. You still got stuff to do. You still got story to tell. You got books to write, stuff to do. It's like, I can't imagine writing a story that I'm writing now, like Fight for Us, and stopping. Like, I've always had in my mind to write like 20 books. And I'm not writing like 1,000-page books. My books are like 200 pages, 200 and some pages. Maybe they'd be smaller. If the books were smaller, they're 6x9, so they're bigger print, bigger words. If they were smaller, they'd be more words because it would be more words per page. or less words per page. There'd be more pages. So it would be like, I can't imagine just stopping in the middle of it. Like, you know what? I'm going to make this show real fast, guys. I'm not going to finish the story. That would bother a lot of people. You know? Like that would be pretty annoying to the people that want to see where the story goes and where it's going too, right? So yeah, I'm excited to see where that is. It's taking some tangents and some stuff. I'm excited to see, you guys' thoughts on it. And I'm always a little nervous when I write stuff because I want it to be perceived well and in there too. But at the end of the day, I'm writing something that I'm excited about and I'm happy with. And that's all you can do, because it's funny when you're on YouTube or social media in general, people get mad at you for liking something and not liking something, saying something and not saying something, what you didn't do and what you did do, how you did this, what you did that. So you're never going to win. You're never going to win in life. So you might as well do what makes you happy. As long as it's not hurting other people. And I'm not going to say, yeah, do that while you're hurting yourself, your family members, your coworkers, your neighbors, whoever. Like, I wouldn't recommend that. But as long as you're just happy with stuff and everyone around you is happy as well, and you're proud of what you put out, should do it, man. Should do it. John's asking a lot of good questions today. Do you think Fear should replace the showrunners with Robert Kirkman, assuming he would take it? I think it would be I personally would like Angela Kang. I'd rather have Angela Kang on Fear the Walking Dead than anybody else. But I don't know if Robert Kirkman would be a good showrunner. It takes a certain personality and a certain like Robert Kirkman was never the showrunner. It was Frank Darabont. And it was I forget his name on the second one. Glenn Mazzaro. And then Gimple. And then Angela Kang. So you've had a bunch of different showrunners. And some have had success. Some didn't. Some did some great things. Some people did some stupid things. But, and, Fear the Walking Dead just needs to have yeah. I would love to, if the dudes that made Game of Thrones had no Dave and Dan, whatever, Dan and D&D, Dave and Dan, I think were the showrunners. They had no show running experience before Game of Thrones. And it shows the way they ended it. But they did a really good job in the first, 5, 6.5, or 5.5 seasons. But it just, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just like, if they can do it, anybody can do it. But you don't have to copy The Walking Dead. You don't have to copy things like the shows that I listed. The Boys, Obi-Wan, Better Call Saul, Stranger Things. The Boys, 3 seasons. It's been renewed for 4. Yeah. I don't know where Georgie is, John. I think that was just a flash in the pan way to get Maggie out of there. Georgie just came around. I would love to see a Georgie Tales of the Walking Dead episode. That would be a good one. Georgie would be a good candidate for Tales of the Walking Dead. I think that would be good. So that means we're probably not going to get it too. Rob K, anyone see Jurassic World Dominion yet? I saw it last night. I don't really have any desire to watch that movie because the Jurassic Park franchise, to me, is Jurassic Park, great. The other movies, terrible. Jurassic World, great. Other movies, not so much. The last one, Jurassic World, whatever it was, not so good. This one is still going to feel like, okay, dinosaurs, people, humanity, people, settlements, where they're going to be. It's like, I don't know. I do like Chris Pratt. I like the original cast that are coming back for it and stuff. I haven't seen it yet, so it could be amazing. But I just don't have faith in it. And I'll tell you, I said it before in the other live, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that Vince Vaughn is in a Jurassic Park movie with his daughter who does gymnastics. And she's flipping around on these bars and doing all this stuff. And she's flipping and spinning. And she kicks a velociraptor. And the velociraptor goes flying into a building, barn type of thing. And you're like, this is what this series has come to? Stuff like this? You're like, nah, man, come on. Come on. Come on. But yeah, I don't know. But ultimately, I'm excited to see, where stuff goes and show running is. And it's always good to see like a good show. Like Better Call Saul, man, I'm super excited for that to come back in July. So there's definitely a break right now on shows. Like, I mean, we get The Boys. Obi-Wan's on Wednesdays. Ms. Marvel just started. But, I mean, Obi-Wan's going to be over in a couple weeks. Ms. Marvel, I don't know how many episodes is that. But then Animal Kingdom. If you've never seen Animal Kingdom, guys, I really recommend that show. If you like... You gotta like the the first thing that comes to my mind is like the movie Heat with Robert De Niro and Pacino, and it's nothing to do with that, but they do have to rob banks and heists and stuff like that comes together, and it's done in a way that makes you root for like the bad guys, but they're not bad guys, but they are bad guys. But you see, it's done in a way that it's pretty cool. But the family dynamic drama. But I highly recommend Animal Kingdom. It's one of those great shows. And then I told my dad recently about a show called Southland on HBO. It's a cop show, and it used to be on TNT and I think NBC or something back in the day, but so many years ago. And it's got Michael Cutlitz, who played Abraham on The Walking Dead. It's pretty awesome. Jonathan Graham, Q&A. If you had the choice, what one character would you want to see on an episode of Tales? Mine would be the Governor. I like that choice. I like the Governor. I like Georgie and the twins. I like that. Jonathan Waters, Georgie will be Maggie. Will Georgie be with Maggie and the Negan spinoff? I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that character. I mean, there's been so many things with Georgie that could have come around again. They talked about her briefly in season 11. I don't know if she died off camera or what, but it's not anything. I mean, they could easily bring her and the twins around. I think that would be a great candidate for Tales of the Walking Dead. Yeah, I mean, I think the Governor is a good pick. I think I'll go with the Governor too, John. I would love to see the Governor ride the Rise of Woodbury when they're building that too. So see a Dale Face episode. Dale Face. But yeah, I mean, you could do so many good things with the Walking Dead franchise, and they still can. But it just feels like it's on life support. Skid mark episode. Or if it's like Tales of the Walking Dead, but it's like TAILS, like the animals. So it's like skid mark and dog. And there's like a horse one or something. I don't know. Someone's got a bunch of different animals. Or it's like a group at a zoo trying to take care of the animals. I don't know. It would be crazy. You want to see Dale? Rob K says, yeah, I want to see Dale in his RV. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things. And I don't know if the showrunners or the people watch stuff on YouTube and they get ideas and stuff. Tabitha the Goat. I hope they would. And I hope they would take stuff for food for thought or ideas from the audience. And because I'm sure a lot of people have good ideas and more people have weird, terrible ideas too. But there's just a lot of stuff like what happened to Winnie, what happened to Tobias, what happened to certain characters, Georgie. A lot of people from Oceanside, like Cindy. I would love to see a Simon, actually, Tales of the Walking Dead episode. So the Governor, Simon. I think there would be a little more explanation for the stories, especially like it would be cool to see, from their point of views or point of reference too. And you could do certain things, especially on the AMC lot, the studio. You could turn into a bunch of stuff, or like a Commonwealth episode with Mercer at the start of it or something. I think they'd be great. I mean, they could do really well with a lot of characters. And I don't know if, again, we have, as the fans, Hardy Nixie says, Tales of the Walking Dead might be good as an animated series. And I thought there was going to be animation or stuff. Like, I thought there was initially talk about The Walking Dead having live action episodes and then animation episodes or this stuff on there too. Like, I thought there was talk of that. And I guess it just fell through because, budget, time, just a bunch of stuff as well. I don't know. It's just stuff that stuff happens. Budget happens. Money happened. You know, they come and go. That's for sure. Jonathan said, how well will dog do in Tales of the Walking Dead? Dog's got to live, man. I've seen video of dog, which is actually named Seven in, I guess, real life, do some like acting stuff. And it was crazy. The trainer, I guess owner trainer of dog, it's amazing how the dog was like, bark, bark, mark, go on your mark, sit, bark, yep, come back there. And like, it was just crazy to see how talented the dog is. Like, I know it's an animal and whatever, but it's always cool to see like the dog listens and obeys. Like, it's just amazing to me. Sometimes you see that too. So yeah. Jeannie says, skid mark, dog, Tabitha, all the possums trying to avoid Daryl, a couple squirrels, snakes or something, on there too. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you taking the time here. Sorry to be Debbie Downer about stuff that happened with my mom on Wednesday, but I just be transparent on here. So if I'm posting more motivational, inspirational things, it's just stuff that's helping me and also may help you as well. Definitely check out the stock market if you can be involved with it. If you have money too. If you don't, do what you got to do. I know it's tough out there with $5 a gallon gas stuff. It's crazy. So I'll be back next Sunday. I said next Sunday is Animal Kingdom Day. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that in the stream as well. If you have any topics, future topics to talk about, let me know. I'm always open for it because Walking Dead's on break and I want to continue talking about stuff and the stuff as well. The shows that I listed in the title, definitely shows I recommend. But thank you guys. I'll be back next Sunday. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and working hard. Keep working hard. You can do things. I'll be back next Sunday.